Hi, my name is Andrew. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. And this video is a focus on USA seed capital investors, and it is part of a video series that I will be having in the next few weeks on company profiles of over 570 seed capital investors in the USA. So if you're looking to do fundraising for the first time, this is a great resource for you. A bit of information about myself. I'm a fundraising strategist with 15 years of experience in high-end real estate sales and marketing, spanning Canada, Dubai, and the Caribbean. And over the past 2 years on Fiverr, I've assisted over 200 clients with startup fundraising, pitch deck refinement, investor outreach strategies, and custom investor databases. In addition, I'm an advisor to a New York-based investment company affiliated with a $60 billion fund. The fund focuses on various sectors, particularly income-producing real estate, with capital requirements for projects typically ranging from $10 to $20 million. These projects are selected based on their cash flow and growth potential, and you get more information about my service by clicking my Fiverr link below. This video highlights Alphabit Fund in California, and they are one of 570 seed capital angel groups in my exclusive fundraising database to help you raise capital for your startup. Alphabit Fund is a crypto-focused venture capital firm supporting blockchain and decentralized projects. Company snapshot: they're based in San Francisco, California, and are classified as a venture capital firm. Their sectors include technology, blockchain, and crypto, and their distinct benefits for startups is they are best for startups in the blockchain and decentralized space, offering funding and expertise in crypto. And here are some of the companies that they have invested in. One of the key benefits of my database is that it includes tips for investor outreach. And this is what makes it the best database for first-time fundraising. I specifically created it for people who are going to start to initiate their first fundraising campaign, and it allows you to start actually making contact well before you need the funds. And that's the best strategy, to initiate your outreach well before you need the funds. And the problem is it takes about 6 to 9 months for most people to start raising funds, or at least to be successful. And the reason being is a lot of the hard work is making the contacts, and unfortunately a lot of people wait till they need the funds to do that. So my suggestion is, actually you're going to see the spreadsheet, the database, and the key touch points in it that I'm talking about a little bit later on in the video, so you'll be able to see what I mean. But I suggest actually shortly after you've started your company, when you've started to make traction, or you've had some very good success, maybe it's large contracts, maybe you've hit some special milestones, that's the time when you want to do your first outreach to a venture capital or angel groups, to let them know about your company and let them know the space that you're in. But the key thing is, you're not asking for funds, you're not sending them your pitch deck. So my database allows you to use those tools when you're starting to build your contact list up. The database is 570 contacts, and you don't need 570 to actually raise funds for your company if your company's doing the right thing and they're very attractive. You only need about 20 to 25 as a target, but you've got to start off with the larger database. And if you do this once a week, send out an email to a couple of the firms using this strategy, it's going to work out really well for you. So how do you do that in real life? Well, the key outreach touch points for this particular case might say, Alphabit Fund has a history of supporting ventures in the blockchain and cryptocurrency space, and we would like to discuss how our new venture aligns with your investment focus. Again, you're not sending pitch decks. You're not telling them that you're looking for $100,000, $200,000, $500,000. You're just saying, hey, here's who we are. We're in the same space that you like to invest in. Can we make a connection and see how we can end up meeting or possibly talk about our venture? And that's really the key point. There's an old adage in fundraising, and it is, if you ask for funds, you'll get advice. But if you ask for advice, it will eventually lead you to getting the funds. So this is really key. Now that is what you would do if you know the contact. In the venture capital angel group databases, many of them do not have the initial contact. They have senior contacts. In mine you're going to see principals and founders, and you're going to see some of the senior people. But the key people you want to actually make contact with in the early stages are the associates and investment analysts, people a little bit lower on the company organization chart, because they're the ones that are going to be more communicative, and then you can actually get additional contacts from them later on. Now, what happens if you don't know who the contact is? Well, one of the strategies is to send them an outreach email that looks like this. Subject heading could say, aligning our vision with Alphabit Fund, exploring investment opportunities. And then the key email approach line may include, our venture aligns with Alphabet's vision. Can you guide us to a person or a team responsible for evaluating opportunities that resonate with your investment strategy? So again, no pitch deck, no asking for funds. You're basically just trying to make contact. This allows you to build up a history of contact with the venture capital firms and angel groups over the growth of your company. Let's say a year to 2 years before you need funds. That's what the really, really smart people do when it comes to planning their future fundraising, is well ahead of time. And people change in these firms over time, so you want to have a chain of contacts in each one, and this allows you to set up your contact spreadsheet to do that. Now, this prepares you for a more efficient fundraising campaign when the time is right, and this is the best strategy for you to prepare for the most important phase of your fundraising, and that is when you actually need the funds. This is the type of seed capital angel group you can find in my exclusive guide. I created this exclusive database to help founders reach out to seed and angel investors with confidence. There is no other resource like it, period. So let's take a look at the database. So now we're over on the database section. So this is the seed capital and angel group investor database. And as you can see on the top here, it has 570 contacts, and total investments for this group is over 37,000 in the past few years. This is the best source of seed capital that you're going to find, and this was handpicked from me from my database of over 400,000 contacts. So this is not a database that you can scrape off the internet because they have all been verified. These are all companies that deal in seed capital. So you can be sure that if that is the type of funds that you're looking for, this is the great source for you, not only in the very beginning of your company stages, but as you move along the line. The purpose of this database is to actually use as a contact for when you first get your company ready and rolling, and you can say to them, I am a founder in the tech space or whatever space you're in, and you want to make initial contacts in the very beginning. So that's the beauty of this type of list. If you're thinking about fundraising, you should not think about sending out your outreach emails when you're looking for the funds. You should be thinking about that 1-2 years beforehand, where you start to make contacts with these key groups, because that's the best way for you to build at least a connection with not only the one member, could be multiple members of the team. And keep in mind that the people in the teams will always change over time unless they're the founders and the principals. So let's just take a quick look at this here. So you're going to get the company names, you're going to get the cities, and again, this is a USA list. These are all either venture capital or angel groups. And there could be some family investment offices, but they're really focused on micro venture capital, and angel groups, because those are the ones that look at allocating funds for startups, and you can usually look at anywhere from around $100,000 to around $500,000, sometimes up to $1 million for these type of groups. And that's why they have been collected in this particular database, because it doesn't make sense for you to start to look at databases that have growth capital. In other words, firms that are looking to finance you in your third or fourth raise, or databases that have private equity that aren't going to lend to a startup. So that's why I've spent over 150 hours minimum working on this database. In fact, I've been working on this database for a few years, but it was just finally some interest in clients where to connect both angel groups and venture capital groups that are seed capital. What's an angel group? Very simple. If you're looking to approach angel investors, the easiest way is to actually do it by contacting angel groups. An angel group is a firm that is founded and has sometimes 50, 100, 200, maybe even more individual angel investors as part of that group. And what it does, it helps them organize potential investment opportunities that come across their desk so that they can present it to the group as a whole or to individuals that may be in that group. So in other words, this particular database has thousands and thousands and thousands of individual angel investors, but you do not have to contact them one by one. You can do that by simply going into the groups that are composed of angel investors. This database is also very unique because in some cases I've already identified key contacts for you. Now the reason I have not done this for all the contacts is very simple. Throughout the life of your group and even through your contacts when you're doing your fundraising, you're going to approach different people. For example, if it's a principal or a founder, those are great contacts if you're ready to start raising funds. But if you're just starting out your group, you may want to look at approaching associates or whoever might be that first contact. And that helps you build your contact within that group up as your company grows. And it's really, really important because then you never have to be in a scenario where you're looking at firms that only are looking at warm introductions. Most of these, and in fact, over 95% of them, you do not need to have a previous contact with someone. So what have I done to include? And another key thing is they all are either going to have their company emails, in other words, info at, contact at, or you will submit your information on a forum on their website. It's very common for venture capital and angel groups, instead of having an email address, to have a forum where you'll submit your information. You do not have to submit your pitch deck. In fact, in the very beginning of your approach to companies, I would suggest you not using a pitch deck. You could use bullet points or an executive summary, but leave the pitch deck for when you're looking to start to raise funds. So what makes this database unique is I've included the key outreach touch points. In other words, if you have a direct contact that you've known, then there's some key words here that you can use in your particular letter. And that really kind of helps you get started. In other words, I'm not writing the letters for you. I do have that service on Fiverr if you're interested. But for example, this one here says Helios Capital is recognized for its strategic investments in diverse sectors. Let's discuss the potential synergies between our new venture and your investment approach. So that's a good line to put in as what I would call a second sentence in your letter. So I've done that for all 570. I've added some key points about their group so that you actually make it look like it's customized. You should not spam these type of venture capital and angel groups with your message because it won't work. They get hundreds and hundreds of emails a day, and yes, that means hundreds and hundreds of potential people who are looking to raise funds, and it's best that you go in with an approach where it's customized. So that's really, really important, and that's why I've devised this database. There is no other database like this on the market, no one else, and there's many firms and high profile companies that allow you access to databases. In other words, you've got to pay a subscription. You might be allowed to contact 100 firms in a month. This is more refined. In other words, I've done the heavy lifting for you. I've devoted the hours so that you don't have to do it. So the second part of this is because you are going to use this database in the very beginning and early days, you're going to want to be able to contact somebody in the very early stages, and you may not know them. The reason you may not know them is because in some cases venture capital firms will list their employees and their LinkedIn addresses. Okay, so that's really key, but in some cases you won't. So I actually suggest, and I've already done the work for you, is that you send them a letter seeking information on who might be a good contact. For example, this one here, the subject is inquiry regarding investment opportunities, seeking the right contact. So that will be the body of your email. And then I have added what's called the second sentence. And it says, as we explore potential investment avenues we believe our venture aligns with Pipeline Ventures investment criteria, could you assist us in identifying the appropriate contact for further discussions? Now, the reason I've put that type of strategy in here is if you send this to info at, or if you send this to admin, they're going to pass it. They're going to do two things. They're going to probably pass it on to the appropriate party, or they're going to send you back a polite message saying, yes, you can contact so-and-so with your opportunity. They'll do that because that's their job. That's what they're there for. I've really made that clear. I have other investor databases. For example, I just created one for the Middle East where I have almost all the HR contacts. So in that way, an HR contact is never going to delete an email like that because that's not their job. Their job is to facilitate these type of introductions and making sure they get to the right person. So the beauty of this is if it's a venture capital or angel group firm, let's say they've got a founder, a couple principals, they may have 3 or 4 associates or people who analyze investments. That's who this particular contact is going to be made with, and it's great because that's who you want your initial contact with. You want to be able to make that initial contact with somebody at a lower level, introducing yourself, and maybe arranging a meeting or a Zoom call to see how you can align your company with them for when it comes down to the point where you're going to do fundraising. People should think about that when they're doing their fundraising, is treat it like a business development exercise. So that is the database of venture capital, seed venture capital, and angel groups in the USA for the initial stages of your fundraising. My master database has over 400,000 verified global contacts. That includes angel investors, family investment offices, pension funds, hedge funds, private equity databases, REITs, premium high net worth and ultra high net worth Middle East investors database, venture capital lists, and investment banks. I also help clients with pitch deck reviews and corporate fundraising presentations. If you're getting ready to send your presentation out to investors, send it to me. I will take a look at it. Approximately 80% of the presentations I see are not suitable to be sent out to investors. I have a service on Fiverr that will help fix that. Just click my Fiverr link below for more information. For more information on my databases and fundraising services, click my Fiverr link below. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.